a pretty hype matchup. Two very good runners. And again, as the Switch stage goes on and we start getting the runners of closer skill paired off, then pretty much every race, even at the bottoms of the Swiss, are going to be very entertaining watches.
Yeah, like, equal skill is definitely the best thing we can have. Close races, just watching people.
And it would seem that the runners are off. Did you happen to catch what was in the first test?
No, I'm afraid I missed it.
All right.
We might see something. I think it was a big 20 actually. Looking at the
Oh
rupee
yeah, it would
count.
have to be because they have 20 rupees. Anyway, we're gonna get to see a random weapon from Uncle. I'm kind of hoping to see a sword. I haven't seen a sword escape in a while.
It's just gonna be the Game of Samaria. At least that's a nice item to get out of the way. We won't have to look for that. And it makes bomb farming pretty easy.
And you have plenty of magic on the Samaria escape. So, no bombs yet, but plenty of enemies left to potentially farm one from.
Plenty of enemies, especially the hallway with all the rope paths, the snakes. I think that's the main source of drops.
Yeah, generally if you're going to get a bomb drop and escape, it's going to be either from the green guards in this hallway here, because you can throw pots at them very easily, or that hallway with all the snakes, because you can get, what is it, like 6 kills in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, especially with the cane, just throw them through, explode it, maybe do it again, they should all be gone.
Very nice sync coming down into this first blue guard room. For some reason, pretty much all enemy knockback in this game knocks enemies up, so it can make some of the more esoteric escapes just a little trickier if you don't realize that.
Yeah, that's definitely the beauty of having these different escape weapons. Just seeing some different strats, how to optimize them. I mean, you can see that Unfit takes a small lead already by having a more efficient first blue guard.
Yeah, he's killing a lot of extra guards along the way, just also very efficiently. He's definitely practiced this Samaria escape at some point.
Very clean.
And there's
Getting
the other
other
cane.
Awesome.
I'd say that's actually really nice for the snake room we were talking about, because that just shreds the room.
Yeah, as long as you just keep a little bit of magic left after that for the key rat, then you can use like a quarter or two or a third of your magic there. That's no issue at all.
So apparently, green guards move at pretty much the same speed as Link pushing an object.
Today I learned.
But very slightly slower, because both runners did manage to catch up. That has to be one of the best things I've ever seen in Escape.
Well, I honestly did not know that. We learned our green guard speeds today.
Yeah. So both runners just gonna walk out of the escape. Probably try and kill a couple more green guards in the hopes of a bomb before the sewers.
Yeah, in the sewers,
So they've mostly just found 20 rupees so far, but early 20s definitely help, because then you don't have to worry about your bottle vendor money.
Yeah, agree.
Having to do an extra lap of Blind's Hut, or even 20s help if you're low on bombs, because then you just buy bombs.
I think you want to have like a minimum of 150 in Kakariko, so you can just get the bottle merchant, buy 10 bombs. You won't nearly have enough for Zora at that point, but you'll get there sooner or later.
I mean, there's pretty good odds that something is going to turn up while you're clearing out Kakariko in terms of money. But even if not, there's something like 40 rupees under pots you can get.
Yeah, there's 30 in Blind's Hut and 20 in Duel, so you get at least 50. So if you have 100 coming into Kakariko, you know you're set already.
Most runners will be checking at least one pull tier, as well as the bush crab prize, right after the escape sequence is over.
Yeah, some people would like to skip it if they have plenty of bombs coming out, because it would be less necessary, but... Oh, skipping a lot of robust there.
Yes, Unfit elects to use the cane of Samaria to take out some of the snakes. Does not find a bomb yet. SaberWulf doing the same. He doesn't get... Did he get any drops?
He didn't get anything at all.
Yeah, it's a 50% chance for, under normal circumstances, that an enemy will drop anything at all. And if you dash through an enemy, then it's a 0% chance. This will never happen.
Oh, lucky.
So SaberWulf goes out a little out of his way to kill some extra rats, gets that bomb drop. Unfit doesn't do so. He might hear, and he does get his bomb drop as well. I'm sure that's a huge relief to see.
Yeah, the last minute drop is... It's always kind of nerve-wracking when you don't have any bombs coming in here. That's an early bow in the back of escape as well. That's a nice find.
That's already 3 of the possible weapons that Uncle could give you that have already turned up. So the bow alone is enough for probably both of them to clear Eastern, even though by logic the lamp is required. It'll be interesting to see how early somebody decides to rush Eastern Palace, especially if it's a pendant.
Yeah, especially when it's a pendant, it's a lot harder of a choice. But I could see some people doing that.
Yeah, 10 arrows from the Sanctuary chest. Normally 10 arrows are just a dud, but when you have that bow and no arrows yet, that's not a dud. So, Unfit hasn't made a map check. We'll see if SaberWulf elects to do one right after Sanctuary. I usually do it during escape itself.
Oh, right when you leave the house?
Yep.
That's not a bad call. I mean, you probably need to do one in the first place, because there's no way that you get forced into all 3 dungeons and not wanting to know what you're gonna get.
So tier 2 pull, red rupee, bush crab prize, also red rupee. So money is not going to be a problem at all this seed. Even if none turn up in chests, that is as fast farming as you can get, pretty much.
Yeah, Zora won't be an issue today.
So I missed what Lumberjack on Unfit's side. See what it is on SaberWulf's.
Just to be smart. So no killing the wizard for the reward today.
But until Hammer turns up, you're never safe.
Yeah, there have been quite a few Agassites this logic so far. So I wouldn't be
There's
surprised.
the first sword.
Oh, nice. That's 4 weapons already.
4 weapons and basically nothing else. This seed really wants the runners to be killing things.
I just hope we get some survivability as well.
Yeah, that first full heart is actually a surprisingly big deal. Going from 3 to 4 is just a huge improvement in survivability. Past that, it's not too much. Or not as much of an impact until you hit the Dark World. But no more bombs have turned up yet. Nope. Apparently I lied.
Nice pre-filled bottle from the merchant. Allows for some easier routing in here.
I just get to check the kit immediately. For the Ether Medallion, my personal favorite of the 3.
Yes. I mean, it's kind of flashy, but...
It has a fast animation and dispatches most of the enemies you'd want to kill with it.
Most notably the mummies.
I was thinking the skeleton enemies, and also wizrobes.
So
Ether has a lot of utility. It's kind of surprising. So half magic in Blind's Hut, and 3 bombs were in there as well. So SaberWulf gets just that 1 bomb drop from the bird. Just gives him such a convenient Kakariko as a result.
Yeah, he'll be able to make up some time by getting that early bomb, or getting that bomb drop in the Lost Woods, just by having more efficient routing in here.
Some runners would elect to dive into either the well or Blind's Hut and hope to find a bomb in there. It's a bit risky. I think there's only 11 total bomb items in the entire item pool, but both runners in the well, the flippers, and the mirror both turning up.
Okay, can you see a certain swamp palace going up sometime?
And the shovel. So that's some mobility.
Having the early mirror is just great. Being able to route Dark World and Light World at the same time.
Having the early flippers is also very nice because it means you can route Ice Rod Cave and then immediately head over to the entire Zora area.
Yeah, provided they find enough rupees on the way, which should probably not be a problem with what kind of tree pulls and bush grabs we've seen so far.
Definitely won't be a problem if the runners decide they want to do that. But SaberWulf is going to stock up on his bombs now. He'll be good for the next while with those 10.
Yeah, usually once you get the base 10, you'll be able to route forward pretty nicely, be able to find more bombs on the way from drops or just chests.
But it's not a guarantee. It is entirely possible that those 10 bombs do run out just from overworld and dungeon checks. And at that point, it can definitely throw somebody off if they're just not expecting it.
Yeah, suddenly running out of bombs is probably the worst feeling, especially if it's somewhere in, I don't know, Misery Mire when you're on the way to Vitreous.
I'd almost say it's worse to run out in Ice Palace.
Oh yeah.
I know there are some bombs
yeah.
under pots, mostly in the rooms where you need them, but was that Moon Pearl
That
at
was
the
definitely
library?
Moon Pearl. Unfit wasn't happy to see that one.
I mean, why wouldn't you be happy to see that? Means you get relatively early boots, and there's a glove.
Yeah, SaberWulf doing the blind race game. I like doing it blind in this logic because Sphere 1 locations have such a high percentage of actually containing progression. But
Yeah, I like doing race game blind, but not because of any like logical reasons. It's entirely because if it's a nice to have item like blue mail, then if you see blue mail there, you're not going to go out of your way to get it. You'd only go back if it's a necessary item. But if you're already on the way, then why not? You're pretty much right there for something convenient to have, and checking and running are pretty close in time.
yeah, that's pretty much the same reason. Just being able to get like 300 rupees, which you can always use, it's very nice. You wouldn't go back for a full heart, but you would pick up a full heart and you would actually feel pretty good about it.
Exactly.
Speak of the blue mail.
Like, we just start talking about an item, and there's a map check. I saw Crystal 5 in Eastern Palace, 1 on Hera, and I didn't quite catch what desert was.
Desert was a normal pendant. So I think it was a red one.
I think we're probably going to see an Eastern play right now.
And it's always kind of a hard decision for me to do South Shore first or to go into Eastern first. I think both are pretty viable.
We are seeing both decisions.
Oh, we have to make sure we have our eyes peeled for different items then. I like both plays. I don't think there's a bad play in this case.
No, I think that regardless of the play being made, I think both runners will make the opposite play once they're done with this, unless they can get that Moon Pearl and Hammer, so Dark World. That would be, I think, the only thing that would delay.
Yeah, only if you find the hammer on the South Shore and then maybe be able to link pond with Eastern. And that would be the only beneficial
money
thing.
and a heart piece behind Sahasrahla, and an empty bottle at the dam.
The mini Molem cave is coming in soon.
5 items in here. Usually has some decent progression, but with how many items have already turned up, I am a little less certain, but you know, anything can happen. It's Randomizer.
Yeah, definitely.
So Unfit electing to use Samaria tosses to take out the mini Moldorms. Takes 2 hits, so I like this decision. Probably a little more reliable than using bombs, but a little slower in this case as well.
Yeah, bombs are definitely a more valuable resource than magic at this point, especially with half magic.
There's the lamp, so that puts Eastern in logic. And the 3rd bottle already.
We have enough safety at this point. Blue mill, 3 bottles. What else do you want?
One of them's even pre-filled with a blue potion. And half magic Burna, that makes a joke of half the bosses in the game right there.
Yeah, I guess the only thing they would like to see now is probably a few more hearts and a Master Sword, just to make bosses an actual joke.
I don't think the runners want to see Master Sword right now. As the chat is pointing out, Master Sword opens Aghanim. Aghanim allows boots on Pyramid.
Yeah, well, I bet chat would love to see that, but
Ooh,
let's be nice. Ooh, no, you have to be careful there.
that crab was just vicious. So, South Shore had that bottle and lamp, but otherwise pretty much a bust. Though that opens up Tower of Hera.
Oh, that's right. That is in logic right now. And it is a crystal, so it's not that it's definitely not a bad decision to go there. You can full clear it. So Unfit doesn't exactly have enough money for Zora yet, but he will be flipping to I don't know where yet. Okay, to
I think
Waterfall
he's
Cave.
probably going to do Waterfall Fairy and then go back to Lake Hylia to check that. He might also check the Zora ledge item, but I'm not certain.
He would have liked to see a bit more money in that chest.
No, he's gonna go up and check the ledge.
SaberWulf getting for the Dark Room King. Oh! Those were the Titan mitts.
Cannot complain about finding those Titans myths. It still does not dodge Aghanim yet, even though as soon as boots turn up, that's Dark World access. Even if boots immediately turn up, Aghanim can still be logically required to obtain the hammer if it is at Pyramid Fairy, and since Eastern Palace is already one of the crystals for Pyramid Fairy and it's already clearable, that could still happen.
Yep, that's definitely a possibility. Not exactly
Though
likely.
it's an interesting note that because of the Moon Pearl's location, they will definitely have boots, and that means they will definitely be able to sequence break the big bomb at that point.
Yeah, by virtue of having the water walk, right, which you activate in Skullwoods, or something like that.
It can also be done with just the flippers, but the timing is a lot tighter.
Alright. I'm not
So,
exactly sure about all the water walking glitches, as I've not been very mindful of those yet, but there are definitely ways to circumvent Aghanim. There's still quite a few locations where the boots could be at this point, though.
yeah, so Unfit's going to do his Eastern Palace, totally in logic, due to that lamp. SaberWulf approaching the Armos Knights.
Bless you. Alright, let's see what kind of strat SaberWulf uses. The top right strat. Personal favorite of mine. We couldn't exactly get it. But still pretty clean. And we already got our first crystal in 19 and a
Yeah,
half
early
minutes.
bow does that to you, and we might see a second crystal very soon as well, due to fully clearable Tower of Hera.
Yeah, I would expect SaberWulf to retrace Unfit steps right now. Go to South Shore, do the Zora checks. But
And he
I
will
guess we'll
have
see
the
some Death
money
Mountain.
to pay off Zora himself. He's a little short now, but that cave under the rock up there does have 20 rupees.
Yeah, and if you're just a bit short, it's an easy decision to get that. I'd be interested to see if someone actually, or if SaberWulf might check Agina after Dam. Some people like to do that nowadays.
That's something I've started doing. Or if I have book, I will just skip the dam temporarily and then do Agina and then just walk straight into desert after the dam. It's always being mindful of potentially splitting up the South Shore area.
Yeah, it's definitely not a bad idea lately, I think. But also SaberWulf also decides to go to the east, picking up his lamp and third bottle.
Yeah, Agina is always kind of the way thing, unless you're also going to Desert Palace, which is quite out of the way on its own. So there's always just, you can check Agina immediately, but it's almost always better to put it off. But the question then becomes, how long do you put it off for?
Yeah.
And it's not a question that has an easy answer.
Yeah, I feel like doing it together with the dam feels like the least waste of time. But yeah, I think it's just more of a how it feels in your head thing than a rather accurate, oh, it's okay to do it now.
Yeah, for me, it's pretty much how I'm feeling on the seed itself. It's a small decision that doesn't affect too much. But a lot of those small decisions make up one of these seeds.
But boy, does it feel good when there's something in there.
Yeah, so SaberWulf electing to check Highly Island, I believe I only saw a heart piece there. He's also going to be checking Hobo before going up to the Zora area. We know he'll find another clutch 20 rupees in Waterfall Fairy Cave. But he doesn't know that.
Yeah, we don't know what's on Hobo yet, though, so this will be new. Oh, there we go.
That might... No, he's still going to do it this way, I'm pretty sure.
I think I would check Zora at this point.
But then off we go into the Dark World.
Yeah, it seems less likely that he'll go to Death Mountain right now. He has no way to get to the east side yet.
And he's going to be going over to get 20 rupees from that cave now. So he's going to be mildly annoyed to see an actually helpful 20 rupees turn up in Waterfall Fairy Cave now.
Yeah, definitely.
Though he can recoup some of this time by... Oh wait, he didn't even check Ice Rod yet.
Yeah, it's not too bad to do
Never
it this
mind.
way.
That's actually some interesting routing. Not something I'd considered. And it looks like he is planning on trying to recoup some of that time by doing a water walk. So the way this works is you dash near the pit as you head out of the room. And because you're near the pit, you're in the falling state. As long as you don't move left or right in the cave, then when you jump downwards onto water, you're water walking. Unfortunately, flippers kind of screw with that a bit.
Yeah, when you reach shallow water, then you actually just normally walk again, and it resets the water walking state.
So he does get the clutch 20 rupees. I'm probably forgetting about the cave there. Unfit, without his boots, is going to be heading up to Death Mountain, which, with what he has and what he knows, is definitely the right decision for him.
Yeah. Yeah, sadly the hobo is kind of a out of the way location at this point, unless he wants to link it with the actual Zora check later. But it does not feel really good. And at this point, Death Mountain is the highest density left.
Especially with Tower of Hera as a fully clearable crystal. There's the 10 bomb item, so what we're still missing for Uncle weapons at this point is what, just the fire rod?
Yeah, and the hammer.
Oh yeah, and the hammer.
So I assume SaberWulf will be picking up his Moon Pearl, and then we'll see what decision he ends up going. I mean, I guess Village of Outcasts is the logical decision, but
Showing us that you can mirror out of Sanctuary. Not really faster due to the menu time, but it's a cool strat to show off.
yeah. Oh, he actually checks King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks first. That makes sense.
I can't say I really like the decision to check King's Tomb now, because you can combo it with Graveyard Ledge during your Dark World checks very nicely.
Yeah, that's a good point. Especially because you can actually, after the Village of Outcast, you can even link that together with Catfish.
Exactly. It's just a little more convenient at that point in time. Bonk Rocks, on the other hand, maybe combo that with going up Death Mountain, but it's a lot more on the way to grabbing that Moon Pearl, so that's a lot more justifiable.
Yeah, my thought was to just start at Link's house, then go west to pick up the Moon Pearl, and just walk north to go into the Dark World.
Yeah, so Unfit in Tower of Hera, he found a full heart on Spectacle Rock, so 9 hearts of Blue Mail should be plenty.
Yeah, might get
Especially
knocked
with
down
those bottles.
by Moldorm. You never know how that fight goes with just the fighter's sword. But the dungeon itself should be no issue.
Yeah, Moldorm can be a bully.
SaberWulf picked up his Moon Pearl and will be heading to the Dark World now. I guess we'll see if he does the Skullwood check first. Some people consider that a bit of a part of the overworld, or if he actually goes into Thieves Town as well. I assume we're getting a map check. There we go.
Green Pendant Pod, Blue Pendant Mire, Crystal 6 Ice Palace. So I'd be surprised if he does not go into Thieves Town right now, or as he's doing these checks.
Yeah, especially the front 4 are probably pretty free. He might not be
I
willing.
ran the math on this a couple days ago, and with the fill algorithm, it's a 50% chance that there's an item in the big chest. So that's also a 50% chance that all 4 items are accessible without the hammer.
That's a coin flip you might be willing to take, but I don't mind doing most of the overworld before actually committing to the back half of Thieves Town.
So something in that chest that SaberWulf didn't like.
That's some excellent timing. We'll be having to take a close look on his menu.
So Unfit going to use Cane of Burna to trivialize the last phase of Moldorm.
That's actually a really nice trap. I never thought of using
And there's
that.
the Master Sword, so there's the better weapon.
Well, let's hope he does not get baited into doing Aghanim.
And for the people in the chat questioning my statistic on Thieves Town, Big Key has only 4 locations it can be, and then the small key gets randomly placed in one of the, I think, 5 remaining locations it can. 5? Yeah, 5 is right. And then you've got the map and compass to follow it up. So it's not a straight 4 of 8, as in 4 items, like uniform distribution, but due to the way the fill logic works, it works out to be the same anyway.
Maths people. Sometimes it's pretty tricky. Unfit deciding to be a bit active in Tall Room. I probably would have just laced around on top of the pegs.
So SaberWulf, I noticed, did the blacksmith. I don't think there's anything of value there. 3 digs in digging game for a heart piece.
At least it was quick and painless. After this, Unfit does not have a lot of locations left to check though, so we'll see when
Now, it's a not so painless heart piece in tile room.
we'll see if we get the hobo check now.
Yeah, so SaberWulf is going to be doing more Overworld before diving dungeons.
Taking the purple chest is weird.
Yeah, we're seeing the Agina check, so it's kind of funny. Both runners heading towards the same general area, just on very different trajectories.
Yeah, we'll see if it actually brings something. Do you think SaberWulf will check Agina after delivering the purple chest?
Definitely if Book turns up. Probably definitely as well if the flute turns up, I'd say. Otherwise, I'm not sure. You might just want to not go to Agina's cave at all.
Yeah, it is probably the closest you're going to get if the flute doesn't turn up.
It's just yet another heart piece. They are just taunting.
Yeah, I'm probably wondering where those boots are.
Oh, he's heading over to the lake. He's gonna find them soon.
Let me get our hive cave check on SaberWulf's side.
So 2 bombs used in Hype Cave, 3 bombs handed back.
Oh boy.
And a bunch of nothing.
That was pretty disappointing.
Yeah, full heart and 300 rupees aren't bad, but
It just doesn't live up to its name anymore.
petition to rename Mini Moldworm Cave Hype Cave.
I mean, a bottle and a lamp are okay, but we lost our actual hype. I think nowadays it's just Hype Village. Just only Kakariko.
Yeah, so Unfit got his boots. He's doing the same thing of checking King's Tomb early. So neither runner realizing that they can chain it well with the Dark World.
People just try to avoid anything that has to do with Graveyard Ledge, apparently.
So SaberWulf looks like he's heading up towards Death Mountain now. No way to get to East Death Mountain, and a lot of logically open locations left unchecked here.
I'm kind of surprised by this.
And outside of the book, you can fully clear this. Or fully clear everything on West Death Mountain, so it's not a bad decision.
Oh, it's true. He'll be able to do Spy Cave as well.
No hammer.
Oh, no hammer. Oh, I spoke too soon.
You get locked out right at the start, at least. It's better than trying to do Spike Cave without a glove.
I plead the fifth. I may or may not have done that once or twice.
Just once or twice.
I would have expected one of them to loop around to pod. It's a green pendant. You can maybe just... It's not too bad, only clearing the front without the hammer. It's a nice amount of items as well.
I wish the stream would stop lagging whenever SaberWulf does an item change, because there's been a couple of things we haven't quite seen.
Yeah, C-shaped house. We'll be seeing them on Unfit side pretty soon, but he seems to be doing the Skull Witch check first. I like it.
Yeah, I don't know when he's going to get to purple chest.
Another piece of heart. We've been drowning in them.
Yeah, interesting decision to enter the big chest entrance first and then do the drop. I see most people start with the drop.
I think it's to maximize the chance that you get a small key, so you don't have to loop around to the lower mummy room.
It's so rare that you don't find a key early, though.
I agree.
And I feel like going into the so-called pinball room is not as costly as people think, just because then you're in the room on the right and just go left into the big chest room anyway.
Yeah. I mean, at some point you want to take every advantage you get.
There's a hook shot.
There's our East F Mountain. That's a whole bunch of items.
Yeah, that's a huge find. And that's hammer away from swamp being clearable as well.
Oh, but that's a decision to make. I wouldn't want to do swamp early if I could avoid it, but it's so many items. The outfit actually going to the Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, and we'll see what's here. This is something that SaberWulf is going to have to go out of his way for.
Yeah, he might.
So if this is something valuable, he might not come here for a while. Just 50 rupees, so...
Not punished. But again, it was pretty surprising that Unfit went here this early, considering he did bomb procs and Kingstomb early. Ooh. On the last phase. It's so rough when he aggroes like that.
Yeah, just... Moldarm can be so vicious. Like, people tend to make it look easy, but it is not an easy fight with a fighter sword at all.
Yeah, dashing through him is usually a good strategy, but sometimes you just take a pixel where you still get hit and bounce off the stage.
Yeah, and every other weapon that can damage Moldarm skips this phase. But the fighter sword, you have to deal with it.
He'll be getting his replacement weapon now. I'm not sure how happy he is that he gets it afterwards.
Like, I wish I had that 5 seconds ago. But he still takes him down, gets the crystal. And he's probably going to go do North Dark World stuff. Oh, he hadn't done Tile Room. I guess.
Unfit had to do that after Modern as well, for the piece of heart. Yeah.
So, another dungeon dive from Unfit. As mentioned, Hammerless Thieves Town is not that scary, but it is so easy to forget you haven't checked that big chest.
Or it's on the back of your mind the entire run, and that feels just as bad.
I've definitely had both. Red mail turning up early in Thieves Town, though. So any risks of accidental deaths just pretty much completely disappeared.
Yeah, I would just go with these runners. I think they have enough safeties that they'll be set for the rest of the run at this point. And 2 items already in the front. That's nice.
This one's going to be the big key. I see a small key on the HUD.
Yeah, you probably won't be too happy to see that small key already.
And the fact that neither the map nor the compass have turned up is a good sign. But odds are pretty high that we won't know if the big chest has an item or not until after blind goes down.
Yeah, unless both items are already at the top and in the cell. Oh, it gets the pixel. Nice.
Very clean hallway. That, like, even the enemies were nice. That so rarely happens, even when you do get the pixel.
Yeah, there's an aspect of skill and an aspect of luck in that room.
So
Getting the
SaberWulf
pixel's one thing.
is going for Thieves, it looks like.
I find it interesting that he does Thieves before Skullwoods.
I guess he just really doesn't like the Skullwoods dip.
Yeah, dungeons have devalued a bit in the current logic, so it's not that weird that people avoid it. But some people do consider like the front of Skullwoods to be a bit of Overworld, with a chance of having progression.
I honestly don't really think of Overworld and dungeons as different categories. They're both just item locations. Dungeons just tend to be longer investments for more items in a concentrated location.
Yeah, in the end, it's all about item density and checks per minute.
Front of Skullwoods has some of the densest locations in the entire game, so I would never skip it personally. So at this point, we're down to map and 1 item in Thieves Town. And blind and big chest, so...
We're down to the 50-50.
Yeah.
So I guess that we'll see Unfit doing the south loop after this, together with the Smith and Purple chest. And SaberWulf will have to try and find the hookshot.
So blind started getting a little bit out of hand, but still taken care of pretty cleanly.
Yeah.
And there's the map.
Oh no.
So Thieves Town Big Chest has an item. And the Skullwoods trip as a whole was a bust. Or the Thieves Town trip. Skullwoods wasn't a bust.
Yeah. At least we got a crystal out of it. That's something. We're already on 3. And we will be on SaberWulf side
3
as well.
crystals at the 43-minute mark is not the most common thing to see.
Yeah. He's doing the south loop check now. I assume we'll just see East F Mountain after this. Just the sheer density of items that we have there.
Absolutely no way he doesn't go there. SaberWulf, on the other hand, has a couple of questions. He could go dip dungeons like Palace of Darkness or Skullwoods. Obviously, Skullwoods is the right decision here, but he doesn't necessarily know that. And he also has his North Dark World.
Yeah, he could do a North Loop. So Graveyard Ledge into Catfish, into Pyramid, into Pod. That's an option. Or just the Skullwoods check. I hope
think
he
he's
does
probably going to do Skullwoods into that.
Yeah, unless he just builds right after finding the hookshot. It is very tempting to just go straight to East Death Mountain in that case. Pod is not super tempting, with it being a pendant.
Alright, so Stumpy was one of the items that we missed on when SaberWulf got it. Just 20 rupees. That small slash of frustration from SaberWulf on knowing, yes, the big chest has an item.
It will probably be the last location they check.
Yeah, that is such an obnoxious double dip to make. Not as bad as Swamp, but still pretty bad.
Yeah, one item left in Swamp. That's the worst.
So SaberWulf is going to go into Skullwoods, going to get his hook shot, and we'll probably see both runners converge on Death Mountain at that point.
Yeah, they have done pretty much the same stuff at that point.
Yeah, Graveyard Ledge being the big difference. And even that's not a very big difference.
No, with the boots, it's a pretty fast check. It's not a nice check to have to do at some point. You're not gonna look forward to heading all the way over there.
SaberWulf is going to the back of Skullwoods to check the statue push chest. With Samaria, that's very fast, so I like this decision.
We already got 2 items out of Skullwoods though. It was a piece of heart and a hookshot.
Didn't check everything in the front before coming here. So he doesn't know both items will turn up immediately.
Interesting.
It's definitely not a bad decision. I generally check there after full clearing the front, but, you know, it's not a bad call.
Oh, are we? Okay, I was wondering. I thought we were going to see a quick swamp dip, but...
No, purple chest first, then hype cave, and then probably that convergence.
That would be quite a check to make. Alright, let's see what SaberWulf decides to do now.
Looks like he's going to continue over to Bumper Cave check, which is just a heart piece, and then Graveyard Ledge, and then probably just over to Death Mountain. There's too much there.
Yeah, and it's a very minor difference between the 2 runners at this point.
So with Mitts and Mirror, you can just go Dark Death Mountain first. That puts you up at the top, and then you can start your East Death Mountain check at Spiral Cave.
Yeah, Mirror and Mitts makes Death Mountain very, very nice riding-wise.
Unfit gets the hookshot trick to speed through Super Bunny Cave.
I'm so scared of messing that up, I usually just grab the mirror.
Is that the ice rod? I think that was the ice rod.
That was definitely the ice rod. That's
Wasn't
nice to get out of the
expecting
way.
to see a rod. Looks like we're going to be seeing a catfish check here as well.
I like it. He's being very thorough in this case.
There's the fire rod. Wait. Does that make Turtle Rock fully clearable if its medallion is ether?
It would be, but they can't enter it without the hammer.
You are
He's
correct.
even quitting. Wait, what?
I guess he wants to clear Skull Woods? Maybe?
But there is nothing left there, so that's very interesting. The fire rod doesn't open up anything else, right?
No, not really. Ice Palace, I guess, but that would be a Link's House check.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to go in there without the hammer either.
Well, yeah, again, no hammer yet. But with the entirety of East Death Mountain unchecked, as well as we didn't even see the floating island.
Nor what Medallion Turtle Rock actually is.
I think this is a catfish check. But going to catfish when you were right on Death Mountain is...
Yeah, it's certainly an interesting decision.
I mean, I'm certainly questioning it.
We're going to see what's on Lightbolt Death Mountain anyway now, so...
Yeah, just rupees so far, but still another 7 items we haven't seen, with Spiral Cave, Floating Island, and these 5. More rupees, even more rupees. Not rupees. Piece of heart. More rupees. Total dud.
Unfit just knew.
Oh yeah, he never paid off Zora. He came up here without the rupees.
That's still a lot of out-of-the-way checks when there's still Death Mountain. Where is the hammer? That's the main question.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to come down to betting on Hammerless Pod, betting on Hammerless Ice, or betting on Hammerless Swamp.
All
And of those, I think Pod is, even though it's a pendant, I think that only makes it the right choice.
Yeah, considering we know where the Fire and Ice Rod are, if Turtle Rock is Ephraim, Hammer is our go mode. So I hope to get that check in on SaberWulf's side.
And that would be almost none of the optional stuff, but that would in fact be go mode. I didn't even realize.
Oh, it's Quake.
Quake though.
Man.
So that's 2 items, but we now know it's just 2 items.
Alright, we have Floating Island with nothing, and we still have Spiral Cave left.
So Spiral Cave is the last hope of Death Mountain. So Unfit's gonna do his pyramid check.
Also just 50 rupees.
And then he's probably gonna dive Palace of Darkness. It's right there. Or he could prove me wrong and try and dip Swamp.
Yeah, Pod seems like a logical decision. But man, there's a few nasty locations for Quake to be. Yeah,
East Death Mountain, secretly Ganon's rupee hoard.
I would say Unfit's quite lucky. He just saved a lot of time not checking it.
And yet, he will probably go back and check that later. If Pod is a total bust as well.
Yeah, but if Pod is a bust, where else do we have to go?
Swamp and Ice.
Those are terrible options.
Honestly, between Hammerless Swamp and Hammerless Ice, I would rather do Hammerless Swamp just because it kicks you out sooner.
Yeah. Then again, like, knowing one of them isn't it, make sure that the other one is, I guess. And Ice, well, they're both crystals, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay, both runners have actually made 2 Dark World map checks.
Just in case. SaberWulf decides to finish off Skullwoods while he can.
Yeah. I would say I don't see why not, but there's no items back here, and if Book turns up and that Quake is being recalcitrant, you'd probably want to combo a pedestal check with this.
Yeah, it is super unlikely that Quake would be on a pedestal. We still need so many items before that's even a consideration. My thought
Right,
process.
but you don't gain anything by doing Skullwoods now over doing Skullwoods later.
Yeah, exactly.
If Tempered Sword turns up, you just lost time on a slower moth fight.
Yeah, that was my consideration. Oh, there's Quake. We have Hammer as go mode at this point.
Wow, Hammer as go mode is rare.
Yeah, really rare. It
But that
rocks
is
so much.
huge because there's so few places that hammer can actually be. And at this point, finding Hammer before Quake would be catastrophic.
Yeah, you don't wish that on anyone.
Clean Mothula fight from SaberWulf there, though.
Yeah, there is. Someone would have saved a bit, but it was still very clean.
Unfit, you don't need to open that, I don't think. Wait, no, that's not necessarily Hammer locked. I'm dumb.
It could be Vanilla Hammer.
Yeah. Because that would be nice.
Being able to go mode Swamp and Ice Palace, that would be great. SaberWulf has a very long walk towards Pod.
Yeah, pod access with estimates is not the nicest thing in the world.
Just one more check here in Pod.
Unfit was considering switching to Mirror, but elects not to because he's just going to save and quit.
Oh boy. So, Swamp Rise.
East Death Mountain.
We know that doesn't lead us, right? That just leads to a whole bunch of rupees.
Right, but between East Death Mountain, Swamp, and Ice, I'm going East Death Mountain.
Yeah. Not denying that is the logical decision to make. I am wondering about the thought process that he's saving quick there. It might just be a derp, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like SaberWulf's gonna go into pod as well. Gonna get his Quake, probably do all the same stuff. And I'd say the runners are gonna be pretty much tied at that point. Unfit will maybe have a small lead.
Yeah, or SaberWulf might have a small lead because he already finished Skull Woods.
Oh yeah, SaberWulf did do Skull Woods, so that would be pretty much, again, dead even because that Skull Woods clear won't take very long.
Yeah, the way that the runners have converged at several points is amazing. Such a small difference, and we have had such diverging routes as well.
Wonder how annoyed Unfit is going to be with finding a ton of rupees here.
Quite.
Also, nice shadowless bomb jump there.
I don't understand how people play with sprites like this. It's amazing. Such respect.
You just use other things as your cue, and if you're used to it, then it's not a big deal. But the shadow is just such a good visual cue for basically every bomb jump ever.
I must say that it is adorable.
Unfit
Okay, he really does.
You don't have the hammer, dude.
It's the one thing you're still looking for. Oh, he doesn't know about the medallion yet.
No, he doesn't. I can't imagine, though, once Hammer turns up, that he won't check that medallion to see if he's in go mode, but that will cost him an extra trip up Death Mountain if he does that.
Yeah, do we just gamble on it being one of the two you already have? That's such a hard question.
The best thing for him would be to just find Bombos before finding the hammer, because then he knows he has Turtle Rock access.
And this is why information is so crucial.
And this is why you do all of Death Mountain at once if you can.
That as well. Alright, it seems like he's in the Ice Palace did before his swamp.
Yeah, Ice has 4 accessible chests without the hammer, I believe. Maybe 5 if the big key turns up.
Yeah, it's dependent on the big key, but 3 of the chests are locked behind the hammer.
Whereas Swamp gives you the fixed small key at the front and then 1 chest.
Yeah.
So Ice is the better odds play, but Swamp Palace punishes you less if it's wrong.
Yeah, they both just take such a long time before you actually get to the relevant parts. I mean, the first chest in Ice is okay. I mean, you get here pretty quickly.
Then the rest,
to get to the rest, you have to do the Ice Palace bomb jump and all that stuff. It's terrible. And Swamp, you just have to mirror and mirror and...
Of course, the correct answer could just be a double dip as well.
We might get the book somewhere.
Or the flute. Or the powder, or the mushroom, or any number of things.
We don't wish things like that upon our runners.
Are you sure we don't? I thought we were supposed to as the commentators. I thought that was our job.
I thought we were just supposed to be gentle and very objective about our analysis. But I could be wrong on that one. I'm willing to be wrong on that one as well.
I don't know, what does the chat think?
We know what chat thinks. I'm wrong. I see.
So, Unfit, attempting to do Ice Palace bomb jump. Right now, he just accesses those chests a little faster. Gets a second try, despite the wonky spray he's using.
Such respect, once again. It's adorable, though. The eye is adorable. Just the way it flops around when walking. Wow.
Nice hook shot in the ability. It's tricky timing, but it is... It's a fun strat when it goes right. So, big key, small key. It's gonna check the big chest first. SaberWulf also deciding to check Ice Palace before Swamp Palace.
Yeah, we're only minutes apart.
So at this point, it doesn't really matter what the right decision is. The runners are gonna be pretty much tied.
Yeah, they've had the same checks at this point.
Yeah, there might be some... I don't think SaberWulf ever got around to checking Agina.
Ah, that's right. I'm almost slightly surprised that he does this before Agina. But maybe he feels that if it is on Agina, then he already lost.
Maybe he just completely forgot about Agina.
Yeah, forgetting about locations, who does that?
On the plus side, we know Thieves Town Big Chest has an item, but we know it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's very true.
So, pretty cool bomb strat from SaberWulf there.
Yeah, there is a couple of cool ways you can clear these rooms.
Like, I need to look into low percent strats for this place. I just struggle so much if I don't have hook shot or a tempered sword.
Yeah, sometimes having a medallion works as well, but hookshot is just the best item in this area.
Yeah, so now we're seeing the long way around to the iced tea chest. Or no, we're gonna see that Cold Stare needs hammer.
Wrong way, buddy. Oh, he found it.
Oh, he did? Where did he find it?
I was too busy focusing on SaberWulf. I'm a dum-dum. Well, I guess it was.
I guess that's a
I want to
fast
say it was in the
mode.
iced tea room. Well, excuse me, chat.
Yeah, that. So at this point, it's just go wrap up Skull Woods, go clear Swamp, go clear Turtle Rock. That's it. But again, Unfit does not know that Quake is the Turtle Rock medallion. He does not know he has access to it yet.
That's a very good point. We'll see how much he actually clears. I mean, you want to maybe clear a few chests in Swamp anyway, just to get a better sword.
So, Unfit is in go mode, but he doesn't know it yet. SaberWulf will be joining him soon.
SaberWulf does need to be a little bit careful with his current health.
Does have a red potion and a blue potion, so as long as he's paying attention, there's no way he dies here.
And that's fair.
Yeah, it's like, this seed does not want the runners to die.
And with only 3 dungeons left to clear, we'll be having a pretty quick seed, depending on whether we find a sword in silvers.
I think both of them could do Master Sword Silverless Ganon, no problem.
Yeah, it's definitely doable for them. It's not always as convenient, but...
That hammer placement, there's Tempered Sword on the hammer-ish side of Ice Palace. That's a big difference in the runners.
Oh boy, that could make up for this couple of minutes.
I mean, this couple of minutes is that Skull Woods clear.
Yeah, with the Skull Woods already cleared and having the tempered, we're gonna have a spicy end of this race.
Wow, that Tempered Sword placement. So Unfit needs to hope he finds a sword on the way.
Yeah, and who knows how much extra he does check for the extra medallion.
Yeah, here he goes, checking the bomb chest in Swamp, which again, like, there's plenty of things that could help him here, but powder is not what he wants to see.
It's a safety, but do we really need more safeties with what we already have? I really hope he doesn't check too much.
I can't imagine he'd do left side Swamp, and the rest of Swamp isn't that much extra time.
Yeah, maybe South Loop. That's okay. And I would definitely check the 2 chests below the waterfall.
I'd also check the one in the waterfall room, just because it's like 5 seconds or something, if that.
Yeah, if that. SaberWulf will be picking up his hammer soon. And we'll be entering go mode.
Hopefully he doesn't leave Ice Palace on instinct after opening this chest.
That would be terrible. don't be so unhappy.
Oh, rage slashes. He's gonna go take down Cold Stare, no problem with that Tempered Sword, half magic fire rod.
Yeah, there's no issues whatsoever here.
I mean, that block is the true final boss of Ice Palace.
Yeah, or these statues. They always get stuck behind them.
So, full heart, cape. Cape makes Master Sword Ganon a lot easier.
Yeah, just bearable.
But if those silvers don't turn up, then that sword's probably going to be the difference.
Yeah, having to do 12 spins versus 24, it matters so much.
Yeah, SaberWulf does miss the initial spin on Cold Stare, but you know, he's not worried about the fight. It's just time.
Yeah, it takes a bit longer, but he should still be safe. Ooh. Oh, okay. I spoke too soon. That
Without the red mail, that would have been a death.
Alright, still manages to clean it up.
So Unfit doing Master Sword at Argus, that's kind of an obnoxious fight, honestly.
Yeah, it's another one of those fights where you're like,
There's
okay.
no really good way to do it. That's not obscenely difficult with Master Sword.
Yeah, it's not difficult, it's just frustrating and long. Not getting the quick kill.
So Unfit trying to speed up the end of Argus. The multiple hits from fire rod shots. Not quite getting it right, but good enough.
Doesn't matter, still beat it.
So SaberWulf is gonna go do Swamp Palace itself now. And then Unfit is probably going to hopefully not check Turtle Rock here. He needs to just make that bet that he can open Turtle Rock.
66% of the time, you're right all the time.
33% of the time, you've already lost.
Yeah, if you skipped that side swamp. I mean, there's not a whole lot else to check at this point, right?
Yeah, so we're gonna see some complete convergence heading up to Turtle Rock, actually. Because Swamp in Go mode and Skullwoods clear should be roughly the same amount of time. I think the Skullwoods will be faster, so Unfit will be heading up to Turtle Rock sooner. But he's got a worse sword, and that could be the difference.
Yeah, especially with fights like Trinex, and well, GT overall won't matter much. But especially Ganon, it's gonna matter a lot.
Yeah, Trinex won't matter too much because the hammer exists.
Yeah, it just depends on how much you account for menu, I guess. Each menu is more than a second. It does add up.
The cape that Unfit found could also end up being the difference. If it
No?
just gives him an easier Ganon. Because you can still get the 1-in-1 with Master Sword. That Losset posted this ridiculous gif of using Samaria to avoid knock and getting it still.
I would be amazed if Unfit practiced that enough at this point. It would be beautiful.
But having cape means you can just do a fast second phase instead of just squeezing in a couple spins here, a couple spins there. You just get to do it all in a row.
Yeah, I completely agree there.
And yes, we are sure that SaberWulf has the Tempered Sword. He found it in Ice Palace on the side that has 3 items, but only 1 if you don't have Hammer. He went there. Unfit did not go there. He was probably going to go there if he didn't find the Hammer, but then he did find the Hammer.
Yeah, Unfit will probably leave Skullwoods around the time that SaberWulf enters Swamp, like Argus here. That's gonna be really close.
Yeah, Unfit really needs that last sword or silver arrows to turn up along the way, or else he'll be ahead going into Ganon and behind coming out.
I'm having a a bit more issue. And if I'm correct, Unfit still has a red and a blue pot, right?
Yep, he still has both of his bottles. SaberWulf only has his blue, but that hardly matters at this point.
Oh my, this is really close. Alright, both of them will be heading up to the Turtle Rock right now. It's like a 20-30 second difference going in. We'll have to see how much it is going out.
Yeah, this is going to be a very close race.
They're making amazing time, considering the hammer was practically at the last location.
That said, Hammer being go mode at the last location is very different from Hammer gating another item search as the last location.
Yeah, if Hammer led into Quake, we would have had a very different race.
Or even if the Ice Palace dip happened before the pod dip.
Yeah, yeah, that would have.
Then do you go clear your crystals? Or do you dip another pendant?
I would assume that the crystal dips would be a lot more logical, and then you would have had full clear swamp as well. Then it would have been very different.
Full clear swamp, go up to Turtle Rock, clear that. Just in whatever Turtle Rock opens, because it's likely Turtle Rock's going to open up the desert, I'd say. It doesn't matter here, but it'd be a very different seed if Ice Palace was checked first.
According to chat, there's a 17-second difference between the two runners at this point.
Yeah, 17-second difference is obviously really close, but even though SaberWulf is a little behind, he's actually a little ahead due to that sword. But this is going to come down to execution on a lot of things.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Tempered Sword will provide a big advantage, but there are still so many things that Unfit could do. And again, if there is a sword in Turtle Rock or Ganon's Tower on the way, then that sword advantage really is gone, because the difference between Tempered and Butter is not nearly as big.
So just progressing through Turtle Rock, you still have to open basically all of the chests here in go mode. You need 3 of the 4 small keys, and depending on where the big key is, I didn't notice if it turned up. I don't think it did. You might even need all 4.
Yeah, you might have to open every single chest. Sometimes you can skip the lava chest, sometimes you can skip the big chest if you're feeling gutsy.
On the plus side, they get to skip Mimic Cave.
Yup, that's true.
Because that's not part of Turtle Rock. It might as well be in everything but keys.
Okay, apparently we do already have the big key, otherwise you would be... No, he realized. Oh, Unfit.
SaberWulf just gaining back time there.
Those are precious seconds that he can't afford to lose.
That is a 4-second difference now. So Unfit really needs Tempered Sword to turn up.
I assume he would just be making more checks in general because he wants to find a sword.
Even if this distance stays the same going into Ganon's tower, there's almost no way he wouldn't open the upstairs chest, and that would put SaberWulf just objectively in the lead.
Yeah, if he doesn't find silvers, I expect SaberWulf to open them as well, because silvers will save a lot more time than the checks would cost.
Yeah, it would be really interesting if the silvers are upstairs, but the another sword is not. Then Master Sword silvers versus Tempered silverless.
That's a pretty close one. I still think Tempered silverless is faster, but it's close.
Now, there's a lot of things that could go out their way with the exact execution of that fight.
Execution-wise, Ganon, it just is a perfect ending to a run like this.
Also, Laser Bridge is skippable with this key layout. SaberWulf is definitely going to. Unfit, on the other hand, might want to check it.
With him grabbing that magic, I assume he's gonna check it.
Yeah, he's definitely just gonna Cane of Myrna his way through this whole thing. 300 rupees. Oh, don't fall. Mirror shield, okay.
More lag.
Map.
Oh no.
Falls off. Come on, what's in this last chest? Compass? Please no compass.
Oh
I'm
boy.
not sure if that's more or less insulting.
There is a last item on Shrine X.
Alright, so at this point, it's gonna be down to Ganon's tower. So solid fight from SaberWulf. Could have been a little better with that second phase, but still a clean fight. Unfit showing that the Master Sword fight is just that little bit slower. So even if he'd come straight here, he would still be a little bit behind, but not by much.
Yeah, it's still really close, but you already noticed the difference that having Tempered makes.
That difference is only going to be exacerbated on Ganon. Assuming, of course, that that last sword doesn't turn up.
Very clean second phase from Unfit. Getting those hammer hits down is a lot trickier than it looks.
SaberWulf is going to be entering Ganon's tower at around 1:23:47, and Unfit is going to be what, like 20-30 seconds behind that.
Yeah, maybe more like 40. The cutscene is pretty long. But
All right, first test, small key. So probably going to see a right side play. No, we're seeing the mirror out. So if the big key is in the compass room, Unfit's back in this.
oh, that could matter a whole lot. That's if you full clear left side and then have to do right side. Skipping the key.
I think he wanted to get it, but it started walking too soon, and by the time he realized, it's like, nah, I need this.
Also, there was something about the big key game, but
Something big key game. it's somewhere in Ganon's tower, and this race is too close, guys.
Unfit is going right side. Oh, this could be big.
So not in the Stalfos room. Not checking tile room. Which obviously, usually the right call, but
I mean, how
1 out of
behind do you
22
feel at this
times
point?
you get trolled.
Oh man, this is tense. And there's a couple things I could save. I mean, if there's like sword and silvers on the right side, that would be amazing.
5 bomb capacity, not helpful. Bombs for that capacity, not helpful. Arrows, more bombs. So compass room was a total waste of time, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
Could still make the tile room gamble, but
I mean, if
I
it
don't
is in
know
tile room,
if the runners feel like they're ahead or behind with that hammer, and you pretty much had to clear everything, and then you're in go mode at the hammer. Like, it would come down to how good you think your overall route for the rest of the seed was, and I can't feel like Unfit was too happy with how he handled Death Mountain.
yeah, it's Death Mountain versus late Skullwoods check. But yeah, for both of them it was pretty much the second last location, with only Swamp being left otherwise.
Yeah, off to the Ice Armos we go.
If it ends up being on Tower Room, then it's not too bad for Unfit once again. Because SaberWulf still has
Yes,
to do
again,
that, so.
especially if something turns up here.
Both of them having really good execution throughout Ganon's tower so far. SaberWulf barely missing the quick kill. Oh, okay.
Alright, left side behind Ice Armos. So that is pretty much as late as it gets. That would be
16, I think.
17 due to the torch item, but
right,
yeah.
17, yeah. Slow and steady through the mimics.
Let's see. So Riking, I noticed, said that the key layouts allow you to sort of predict the big key. That's not true at all. The big key is the very first thing placed in any dungeon, so there's no bias that you can glean from that. The only thing you would be able to do would be sort of make an informed guess, because sometimes the big key being placed in a certain chest allows looser small key placements because you have to get to a certain point. Misery Mire is a bit like that.
Yeah, Misery Mire, I think it's the compass room. If that has a small key.
Yeah, if that is a small key, then the vanilla big key chest must be the big key, and if vice versa, if the big key chest is a small key, then the other one has to be the big key. But you'd never check that before.
I like living dangerously.
I mean, that would be a lot of time investment just to learn that the big key was in a chest you basically walked past.
Yeah.
Either way, both runners going through the gauntlet right now. SaberWulf actually just completely destroyed it.
Yeah, with the fire rod, you are able to just obliterate everything that's on your path. Not getting the one cycle Lambos. Oh, nice double hit. It's still making his way unscathed. Still has a blue pot as well.
Yeah. It's a fast 3 cycle.
So as SaberWulf exits it, Unfit enters the main gauntlet. This is where the Monster Sword starts kicking in, by the way.
Yeah, because the red enemies in here take 2 Master Sword slashes, but they die to 1 tempered. The blue ones don't matter, they still die to 1 either way, as anybody who's dipped Thieves Town at varying offense levels knows. It's a little bit scary in that torch room. So this is Japanese 1.0, so you can take damage while falling into a pit.
Yeah, that can be tricky.
You can die while falling into a pit. You can be revived by a fairy while falling into a pit against Ganon and just walk out.
This game is weird.
Link to the Past doesn't like when 2 things happen at the same time.
We're going to NMG strats on Unfit's side.
When you run out of magic, I'd probably just drink the blue potion there. But you might be thinking, I need that for Ganon.
Yeah, this is a rough situation to be in.
Yeah. So nothing in the first 3 upstairs chests.
Then I'll be the last chest in the game. The Moldon 2 chest, which might still have something. But I assume SaberWulf will be checking that as well.
Negate. So at this point, even if that is something, both runners get the benefit, and it's just blue rupee. So Ganon's tower had what? Nothing?
Absolutely nothing.
And we saw everything but tile room.
Yeah. And I had a whole load of bombs and arrows and quivers and bomb bags. And a whole load of nothing.
All sorts of fun stuff that doesn't help. So SaberWulf sees he's only got the 1 potion. He's probably going to try and sneak through Aghanim 2. And then, I don't know, maybe take a death on the Overworld? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. He might just feel like drinking a pulse and do whatever.
He might also dash down the pyramid to bonk the tree for the fairy.
Yeah, that's possible.
Or not taking any chances. He's having that blue now.
Yeah, with tempered, you should still be fine with just having max health and full magic.
Yeah, this is better than you'd have going in any percent NMG.
Definitely.
1 or 2 more hearts depending on if you get Sankheart. And red mail. You could have if you go out of your way for it. But other than that, it's basically a safety-filled NMG fight at this point.
Yeah, red mail, powder. Well, no, he doesn't have powder, but still.
Yeah, powder doesn't even play a role at this point. So in the meantime, Unfit. Oh no, he's put Moldorm 2 in angry mode.
Oh, and takes
down he goes.
Yeah, so we'll finally dispatch of Aghanim. That was kind of a rough fight. The shadows got very desynced from the main one. Let's see if SaberWulf gets the double 1 cycle. Doesn't seem like he goes for the trident spin.
It's a tricky thing to pull off. Even with practice, it's tough. If you're out of practice at it, you're probably just going to lose time going for it. So I might as well just take the slashes.
like it's going to be a 2-2, but that should still be enough to stay ahead, considering the Master Sword.
Definitely. So even though Unfit is behind here, he's still going to be showing us a Master Sword Silverless Ganon. And that is something that is, if done well, a real treat to watch. It's just... seeing it done well is just a beauty.
It's so much fun to do.
I hate doing it.
We're going to see where the silvers are as well. Do you want to put a guess in?
Misery Mire.
Well, that could be anywhere.
It's probably Checkerboard Cave. Then again, I guess it could also be Witch or the Powder Turn-In. Magic Bat, that's what that is.
Yeah, or both tablets or pedestal. There's so many fun things. Green pendant. Yeah, SaberWulf being very patient with the hits, just slow and steady. Unfit will have to do the same thing in a bit, but then with 24 spins instead of 12 on our last phase.
But good Ganon warps for a Master Sword fight, honestly. You want him near the wall so you can get those double spins with the recoil. So SaberWulf should only need 1 or 2 more spins.
That should be any moment now. And there he goes.
That's a dead Ganon. That's gonna be a final time of what, about 137?
Something like that. We'll see the official speed racing TV time in a bit.
Yeah. And Unfit showing us why the keep makes Master Sword Ganon so much easier. We did it, guys! We beat Ganon!
And what a seed it was!
Hammer as go mode.
You don't see that every day.
No, I don't think I've ever seen Hammer as go mode. I've had Mitts as go mode, I think twice. Hammer just locks more.
Yeah. It's a lot. Actually, I would find Hammer go mode to be a lot nastier because there is still things like Swamp and Ice where it could be. As shown here, right?
Yeah. I'd say the only really trolly thing about that seed was that hammer placement. Everything else was quite nice.
Yeah, the seed turned out to be pretty straightforward. I mean, Quake could have been pretty frustrating, but at least they found it before the hammer.
Yeah, just imagine though if Quake wasn't there and it had to be searched for. There would be so many decisions to make there, especially if more access turned up. So the real question, actually, at this point is where's the access to desert and the Mire area?
Yeah, again, we haven't really seen. We don't have a lot of locations that we're not accessible.
Everything, but that big chest in Thieves, those 2 chests on the right side of Ice, and Helmasaur, and Tile Room. But that's pretty much it.
Left side Swamp, there's Hammer Pegs, Spike Cave.
Yeah, I guess there were a few more stray locations, but
there's still a lot that we don't have.
yeah, this is like the sparsest finish I think I've ever seen on a SaberWulf side. So many things never turned up. Also, as we've been just chatting about stuff, Unfit's been having a very, very good Ganon fight.
Yeah, it's super clean.
Like, I haven't been counting the spins, but it's 24 hits, and he's got to be almost done.
"24 hits feels like an eternity. Sometimes when you have a Master Sword kind of fight, it's like, oh please, can you just die already?"
apparently, the silver arrows were at the witch. Which
Oh,
doesn't
boy.
help, because where was
Oh,
the mushroom?
Exactly. Oh, damn, that's such a good Master Sword fight. Really, really clean.
Like, missed spins or no, first try is always better than not first try.
Yeah.
And that fight is just so long.
A GG to both runners. What a race. It was actually close up until Turtle Rock. And then the Tempered Sword just made a difference.
So the big difference there was obviously SaberWulf finding that tempered sword in Ice Palace.
Yeah, just a small divergence in routing there, checking the right side before heading over to the Ice Tea room.
That's Randomizer. One little thing it changes so much. There's just always a ripple effect.
Yeah, not checking one thing results in checking some extra things on the way.
And slower fights, and just... That's Randomizer. So for being a Master Sword finish, 140 is really good.
Nothing to complain about. Just a really solid run overall. So do you think we can get both of them in for an interview?
Probably. You want to ask them?
And let's see. Okay, it looks like SaberWulf is going to come in. Unfit has something to do, so he's got to pass.
All right.
And hello, SaberWulf. GG on the race. How are you feeling?
Congrats on the win.
Might be having some mic issues. Let's just wait a sec. Okay, apparently Discord's not cooperating. Same problem.
Gotta love technical issues. That was a very exciting race to watch.
Yeah, it definitely was. Such divergence in routes from early on already. And then just...
Yeah, early divergences, convergence, and then you just get to see the sword.
Yeah, that was the big difference. But yeah, chat keeping SaberWulf up to date on how the race went it's definitely worth rewatching.
Unfit got sub 3 menu with that. That was sub 3 menu is always good.
Yeah, especially with fights like Trinex where you have to menu a lot. And yeah, GG to both runners. SaberWulf moving on to 3-0 already, making a good shot for making brackets. And Unfit moving to 2-1. It's definitely not out yet. And 11 collection rate difference.
I mean, that's what not having to search for an additional sword does, because that's 4 on Laser Bridge, that's 4 in Compass Room, and then just 3 more from somewhere. Which is just minor differences in what Overworld got checked, I think. And no, and Go Mode Swamp.
Yep.
So,
checks the Swamp as well.
Unfit checked less Overworld, is what that means.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Didn't get the Agina check in, did he?
As we were talking about, he got to avoid it.
That one piece of heart.
Yeah, GG to both runners. That was a great race. There's plenty more randomizer races all day, pretty much every day for the next long while. So if you liked this, there's a lot more where that came from.
Yeah, all across Speed Gaming 1 through 6, all across ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 4. Just for the coming few months, we have enough to watch. Yeah, I assume that will do it for this race. We have a couple more races lining up, I think. I'm trying to get the schedule up right now. Yeah, Solski versus Alpis TK31 is about to start on Speed Gaming 1. And then at 5:30 PM we have Assassin's versus Smoke on Speed Gaming 4. And after that at 8 PM we have Maniacal versus Ninjambro at Speed Gaming 4 as well. Those are some high-class races coming up. It's amazing that so many got scheduled already on the first day.
I mean, you just want to get it done. Maybe you have stuff later this week. You want to be able to practice more before those 3-0 matches where things are really going to start getting scary.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to who I'm gonna meet in the coming few rounds. Yeah, be sure to tune in on those races, and I'd like to thank my co-commentator, I Have No Name. Had a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Let's do it again sometime.
Thank you as well. And thank you as well to both runners for putting on an amazing show. And I think that's going to be it for this stream.
Thank you for watching, and also be sure to give a follow to our tracker and restreamer, Sinhi and Data World. Couldn't do it without them.
Definitely follow the runners. That they showed a lot of skill here.